said it before, and I'll say it again. A player never gets busted. And Katrina, she got what she wanted. I guess I'ma change one day. Settle down, release up, have me some kids. Be normal. But today, just ain't the day.
So Shad Moss has shown us how to be a player, how to be a fool, and he's also about to show us how to be Mr. Kiss and Tell. So let's get into this album that's about to come out about his 9 exes. So former Mr. 106 in Park is about to become Mr. Kiss and Tell because he's about to release an album featuring songs about each one of his 9 exes, and this album is entitled Dedicated to My Exes. Now let me tell you something, Shad Moss has a long list of exes, but we'll get into that later. Now, there's no release date for this album, and he said this is going to be his final project or his final album, and see, Shad Moss is willing to die on this hill. A hill which is an album about his exes. So now that he's done kissing, he wants to tell about his tumultuous relationships from his perspective. And this is all coming about after newly leaked audio of a physical altercation between his ex, Kiyomi Leslie, was leaked. So it's like Bow Wow is maybe feeling like he has something to prove overall. I mean, what is his motives? Really? Now, I don't think Shad Moss has good intentions here. I think this is one of the most trashiest, vindictive, misogynistic, harebrained schemes that an ex can do. Now, let me tell you something. If you're going to do your dirt well. So with the content being ridiculous already and the motives being bad, I'm saying that he needs to have good lyrics, good arrangements, good skits, good beats, good artwork, and all this for this album. Because if not, this should have been kept as journal entries. Now, an ex is going to be an ex for a reason, but an ex is going to do X things. Prime example, Shad Moss.
Now, Bow Wow has been linked to a bunch of people.
Yes, he sure has.
He has so many more years of hoeing ahead of him.
Right. Wow.
He got started early.
Wow. So let's go through some of these lists, some of these names.
All right, there's some things that we can confirm. Obviously, Ciara.
Ciara, yep.
Okay.
All right.
Obviously, Cat Stacks.
Cat Stacks.
No.
Cat Stacks?
No.
Oh, all right.
On my life.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so that didn't go down.
Angela
You
Simmons.
saw what that mouth do, though.
No. No. Not at all. No.
Okay, Melody Thornton. Pussycat Doll.
Never.
Never?
Always cool. We was just cool. No lie. Swear on everything.
He lying about Angela Simmons.
No, Angela Simmons, we'll let him slide. That was his girl for a long time, so we know what it is.
All right, Delicia Bryant.
Yeah, she's every man's dream.
Obviously, your daughter's mother. You guys.
Of course.
Clearly.
Of course. My bad, yeah.
That happened.
Right.
Angela Simmons, of course. Now, who else have you heard about?
Corinne Steffens, Superhead.
Yes, Superhead.
What that mouth do, though?
Superhead!
Nah. All is all. All is well. All is well. All.
Now, there's one last one.
Okay.
I heard that him, Chris Humphries, and Reggie Bush have something in common.
What could that be?
Bow Wow doesn't play football. He plays basketball like Chris Humphries, so we can say that. Kim Kardashian. There was a rumor.
She's also in the whole Hall of Fame.
I heard a rumor.
Yo, I just want to know one thing though.
What?
Where did you hear that one from?
I mean, just say it's not true, and we'll leave it alone.
I just want to know where you heard
He wants to know where he heard it.
Now, as I expressed earlier, Shad Moss has a long list of exes, and he's picking 9 of those exes from that list. So Shad Moss, I believe, is trying to profit off of the relationships that he's had. He's maybe angry over something that was unresolved, some issue that they had with these 9 women in particular. I feel like this album will very much be ego-driven, and I think it's not fair that Shad Moss has the opportunity to put his thoughts collectively onto an album, and opposed to these ladies that he will be outing. They will have to rebuttal, individually debunk a few things, call Shad Moss out, because he expressed that, some people are going to be mad. So it's like, why do it? So you know what, we're going to explore the potential 9 women that are going to be on this album, and we're going to do it respectfully, and I hope that these ladies retaliate in a very nice and nasty way. Now look, he's already dropped a couple of the names of the exes that he's going to be doing songs about, but again, I'm going to be giving the potential 9, and I'm going to be doing it respectfully. First person is Ciara. Shad Moss and Ciara dated back from 2004 to 2006, and they were engaged at one point, and people used to clown them for their height difference, but whatever. They made a song together called Like You in 2005, but see, it's 2021, and I know Russell Wilson loves the Lord, but Shad Moss can still catch these hands, so he better be careful what he says.
And we got Keyshia Cole. Who else?
How about this? I want you to be surprised. The thing is, when they see the track list and they see these names, the internet is gonna go crazy.
So how many songs? Like 60 songs or 100?
No, it's like 9.
I never...
Around nothing.
I thought you dated Johnny Black.
Hell no. I'm talking about a girl who went from dancing to, she hit the lotto. Blac Chyna.
I like Chyna.
Don't nobody know that. That's all the names I'm gonna give you today.
Okay.
And now you have to wait.
I don't know. I thought you dated...
So the second person is Blac Chyna, who was an IG model and social media influencer, and her and Shad Moss dated between May 2009 and August 2009. So, you know, their relationship was very short-lived. I don't know too much about it, but I know that Blac Chyna is an opportunist, and she has dated a lot of people in the industry, but her qualifications are rapper with money, and that's it. The third person here is Joie Chavis, and she's a model who has been with Young Berg, has a child with Future, has been with Hit Boy, and also has a child with Shad Moss. Now, Shad Moss and Joie Chavis have been dating off and on from March 2010 to January 2017, and so they were engaged at one point, but Bow Wow said he broke up with her because of her jealousy. I beg to differ. Now, Angela Simmons is fourth on the list here. She's a socialite, businesswoman, and hip-hop royalty. And so with Shad Moss and Angela Simmons, like I've seen different time periods for like when they've been together. I've seen 2006 to 2012 or 2006 to 2014. But either way, they were engaged at some point and they're no longer together and they are friends. You know, people tried to put them back together at different times after they broke up, but Angela Simmons had to definitely shut those rumors down. Shad Moss and Angela Simmons broke up because Shad Moss couldn't honor Angela Simmons' request to be celibate or have no intercourse before marriage. And you know, I remember years and years ago when Angela Simmons was, you know, trying to remain a virgin and trying to do the right thing. You know, I respect her for doing that. But, you know, if the man can't comply, it can't work. And then you got to end things and like them, you know, a couple bumps in the road. But they, you know, they remained friends throughout the years. So shouts out to her. But for Shad Moss, he continued on, but the show goes down from here. So fifth on the list here is Aiysha Daiz. She's a model, and Shad Moss and Aiysha dated back in 2014. And, you know, as the relationship progressed, Aiysha expressed her deep love for Shad Moss, and then after a while, she accused Shad Moss of doing the ultimate no-no. She accused him of cheating on her with a porn star. And then Bow Wow accused her of being a gold digger. So with both of them pointing their fingers at each other and just things falling apart, that's the way the cookie crumbled there. So number 6 here is Erica Mena. Ooh, this relationship was a spicy one. Erica Mena is a Love and Hip Hop reality show star, and Shad Moss and Erica dated from March 2014 to November 2015. They were engaged at one point, and Erica accused Shad Moss of being mentally abusive. And so, you know, before they broke up, they had their social media fallout, and then they ended up breaking up. But you know what? Just like Russell Wilson loves the Lord, I think Safari loves the Lord too. So, you know, I think Shad Moss, if he does put Erica in one of these songs, that he needs to be careful, bruh. Okay? So the next person here is Keyshia Cole, and they dated from January 2016 to March 2016. And, you know, with Shad Moss and Keyshia Cole, like, I never really saw them as being compatible, but maybe it's me. She was accused by Shad Moss of egging his car. She denied those allegations. But you know what? Shad Moss made a very misogynistic and horrible joke during the verses with Ashanti and Keyshia Cole. He posted and said, she was never this late when I'd call her over. And he said this because, you know, Ashanti came at 9 o'clock and Keyshia Cole came at like 9:20, and she was just like super duper late. Both of them was super duper late, actually. But Shad Moss, why you had to say that? I mean, this dude is a sucker. So number 8 on the list here is Kim Kardashian. And Shad Moss said that he kept their relationship a secret. But I think for several reasons he knew better. Now, this all happened back in 2017. You know, they were spotted together. But, I mean, apparently that fizzed out fast. So, I mean, if he ended up with Kim Kardashian, he would have never came out the same, honey. Okay? So the next and last woman on this list here is Kiyomi Leslie, and her real name is Leslie Holden, and she is another model and musical artist. And Kiyomi and Shad Moss dated from 2017 to 2019, off and on. And with this relationship, it's just another case of Shad Moss being in an abusive type situation. So this is not good. First of all, Kiyomi and Shad Moss got arrested back in 2019 for getting into a physical and verbal altercation after a party, and Shad Moss accused her of talking to another man earlier in the night at a party, and so they got into, the incident at an apartment, and they both got arrested. Oh gosh. And then we have another instance here where Shad Moss was accused by Kiyomi of punching her in the stomach, and this is all after they broke up. So they were exes at the time, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why are they around each other anyways? But the bad thing here is, like, why is Shad Moss getting in these type of situations where he's, like, I'm going to say allegedly, putting his hands on a woman or being forceful towards her, yelling at her, and then he's getting in these, like, Twitter wars with his exes, or it's just horrible. So as I expressed earlier, Shad Moss has a long list of exes to include Simply Jess, Janae Aiko, Natessa Smith, Janae Shea, Melody Thornton, Lisa Ann, Dulcie Bryan, Esther Baxter, Olivia Skye, K. Michelle, and Corinne Steffens. Now let me tell you something. People out here talking about Lori Harvey and the fact that she's out here for the streets. She finessing these boys out here. She thotting it and bopping it. But look, Bow Wow's for the streets too, honey. He got a long list. So I just want to address those double standards real quick. Now, just to close everything up, I'm not fond of Shad Moss making this move, putting out an album about his exes. There are artists that, like, do singles or they put out conceptual albums about a breakup or their exes, and they're speaking from a place of pain. But in opposed to, like, Shad Moss, like, I feel like this is retaliative and evil. This is targeting people more so than speaking about someone and people, find out about it later, or maybe people already know off bat who it is. Like, it's almost like some sort of discretion. But with him, he's just like, I'm going to be talking about these 9 exes. So this is almost like some kind of reconfigured matching puzzle where it's just like you have this full word bank of, like, all of his exes, and then, like, you have the descriptions based off of the song. You're just like, oh, he's talking about her. Oh, he's talking about her. Oh, he's talking about her. Like, that's how I see it as, guys. But I just gave you the potential 9 respectfully that I think is going to be on this album called Dedicated to My Exes. So, guys, leave your thoughts. Tell me how you feel about this altogether.